Hi, my name is Jay with Kick Foosball Tables. First off, I'd like to welcome you to the Kick family. Today I'll be showing you how to properly assemble your 55-inch Symphony foosball table. I hope this instructional video was helpful. With no further delay, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is open your box and take a look at your contents. Then, you will lay down each piece out onto your floor individually. If you are assembling your foosball table on a hard surface, I do recommend you lay down a large blanket or a large piece of cardboard. That way you don't damage your foosball table during the assembly process. Next, you want to match each part with what's inside your instruction manual.
After sorting out all the parts in the box, and once you've matched each part to what's inside your instruction manual, if you notice any missing or damaged parts, please contact Kick with pictures of your shipping label, the box itself, and the damaged part. Our contact information will be listed at the end of this video.
For step 1, we'll be attaching both of our side panels, P1, to both end panels, P2, using our H6 nut, our H5 washers, and our H4 bolts. The first thing we're going to do is insert our H6 nut into the inside hole here that you see on both of the end panels. What you want to make sure is that you align the hole on the nut that you see there with the hole on the end of your end panel. So you want to go to insert the nut, also making sure that the star-shaped groove that you see here faces out. Alright, after you've inserted all of your H6 nuts into the back of your end panel, we can now move on to the next step and attaching our side panels P1 to our end panel. You just want to make sure that you line the holes on your side panel to both the holes on your end panel. Insert your H4 bolt in your H5 washer. And you want to tighten your bolt using the Allen wrench that was provided. Next, we'll be attaching our playing field P3 to the bottom of the assembly using our H7 screws. You just want to make sure that the play field, that the graphic side is faced down. You'll notice that there are 16 pre-drilled holes on all 4 sides of your playing field. So I'm going to go ahead and insert your H7 screw into one of those holes. I will be securing our playing field using my impact driver fitted with the Phillips head tip. Next, we'll be attaching our corner pieces, P13, to both side panels and end panel using our H8 screws. First, pretty simple. You just want to line up this groove you see here on both sides of the corner to both ends of your end panel and side panel. We'll be securing our corner piece using our H8 screws. Now you'll notice that there are 4 holes here on the inside of the corner piece. Just go ahead and insert your H8 screw and tighten. For step 5, we'll be attaching our braces P5 to the bottom of our playing field in both side panels using our brackets P6 and our screws H8.
Next, you want to secure each of your brackets to the end of each brace, making sure that the bracket is flush with the end of the brace using your H8 screw.
Next, we'll be securing our support braces to the bottom of our playing field and both side panels. Now for this first brace, you just want to go ahead and line it up in the middle of your playing field, and the other two braces you want to space about a foot apart. Alright, insert your H8 screw into your bracket and your side panel. For steps 6 and 7, we'll be attaching our leg panels, P4C, and all four of our legs, P4A and P4B, to our table using our H4 bolt, our H6 nut, and our H5 washers. Now for step 6, you just want to go ahead and insert all four of your nuts into your leg panel. Now you just want to make sure that you line the hole on the end of the nut to the hole you see here on the end of your leg panel. You also want to make sure that the star-shaped groove faces out. Alright, after you've inserted all 8 of your nuts into both of your leg panels, if you notice that the hole on the nut does not line up with the hole on your leg panel, you can just go ahead and use a Phillips head screwdriver to straighten out your nut. For step 7, we'll be attaching our leg to our side panel using our H1 bolt and our H2 washer. Now you just want to make sure that you are adding the correct leg to the correct side of the table, and one way to determine that is you'll notice that there's an angle on each leg. Make sure that the angle is faced outwards towards your end panel. You also want to make sure that you line up all 3 of the holes on your leg to all 3 the holes on your side panel. Insert your H1 bolt and your H2 washer. We'll be securing our leg on the other side using our H3 nut and our H2 washer. So we'll go ahead and insert your washer and your nut. And using your Allen wrench, you want to go ahead and place into your bolt on the other side, and then tighten using the Allen wrench that was provided. So I'm going to go ahead and hold the Allen wrench in place while you tighten your bolt on this other side. Next, we'll be securing our leg panel between both of our legs using our H4 bolt and our H5 washer. So I'm going to go ahead and line up the hole on your leg panel to the hole on your leg. And you want to secure using your Allen wrench that was provided. Next, we'll be attaching our leg levelers, P11, to the bottom base of our leg. Part's pretty simple. You just want to go ahead and screw down your leg leveler all the way down to the bottom base. Now the purpose of these leg levelers is to stabilize your table during play, so that if one side is higher than the other, just unscrew a couple notches to even out your playing field. You will also notice this rubber ring on each bottom of each leg leveler. This is to prevent your table from sliding back and forth during rough play. After you've completed steps 6 and 7, we're now on the next step in turning over our table. This is a 2-person job, so we need some assistance for this part of the assembly. What you want to make sure is that you don't rest the weight of the table on either of the legs. So just want to be sure to turn over the table in one swift full motion so that all the legs hit the ground at the same time. Next, we'll be securing our ball entry cups P9A and ball entry sockets P9B to our table using our H6 screw. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go ahead and screw in your ball entry cup into your socket. Place into the hole on the side panel. Making sure that the cup is flush and aligned with the top of your table. Go ahead and insert your H6 screw and tighten. Next, we'll be attaching both of our chrome shields P12 to the end of our end panel using our H6 screws. You just want to go ahead and line up these two bolts that you see protruding out the bottom of your chrome shield to both the holes in the end panel. Insert your H6 screw and tighten. Next, insert your 4 chrome cup holders into the large holes that you see here on your end panel. After you've attached both of your shield and slide scorers and your cup holders, we're now on the next step in inserting all of our rods and attaching each player to each rod. The most important part of assembling your foosball table is making sure that all the rods and players are all in the right position. So you want to carefully review the diagram located in the instruction manual prior to inserting your rods. What you want to make sure is that you add the correct amount of players per holes in the rod.
Here's how to set up the rods and players on your new kick foosball table. Place 4 handles on each side of the table in this specific order. Make sure the 4 handles for your home team are in this specific order, as shown in the diagram. Also make sure your players are facing the opposing team and toward the opponent's goal, not the same team or your own goal.
You also want to make sure that there's a hole on the correct side of the table where the handles will later go. Now before we insert our rods and attach each player to each rod, I'm going to show you an already assembled table and explain to you the differences between a 1-man goalie versus a 3-man goalie setup, and the difference between a counterbalance man versus a uniform man.
1-man goalie versus a 3-man goalie setup. Now with this table we have the option to have either a 1-man goalie or a 3-man goalie setup. Most beginners and some others prefer a 3-man goalie setup because there's more defense around the goal, making it harder to score and giving the user more control over the field. Others prefer a more fast-paced 1-man goalie setup. It's completely up to you. To have a 1-man goalie setup, instead of having the other 2 outer men on the goalie rod, you replace them with the 4 black stop rings. Next, place the 4 green triangle corner ramps you received on each corner of the playing field. Only apply these ramps unless you intend on going with the 1-man goalie setup. They will not work with the 3-man goalie setup. Next, secure your ramps using the 4 screws that were provided and cover the holes using the 4 green plugs. You can optionally place the white filled lining tape on both sides of the table to prevent any dead spots, if any at all. Be careful once you lay the tape down. It's hard to pick back up without leaving any smudges. Counterbalance men versus uniform men. Now with this table you receive 2 full sets of different style of foosball men. 1 set of uniform hard plastic men and 1 set of ABS counterbalance men. The uniform men are the foosball men used mostly by beginners. You keep the players on the rod horizontal, they will just fall back down into a vertical position. Or if you free spin the rod, they'll just continue on spinning. Whereas the more experienced players or regular players prefer the counterbalance men. Counterbalance men mean that there is a weight in the head equal to the weight of the toe. So unlike the uniform men, they will not fall back down into a vertical position if left horizontally, or in any other position. They also don't keep spinning like the uniform men. This lets the player or user control the player or men to their liking or technique. Again, it's totally up to you.
When adding your players to your rod, you want to note that there's a bumper, a washer. Then you want to add the correct amount of players per holes in the rod. And add another washer, another bumper. You want to complete by sliding through the second hole. Then we'll be securing our players using our C7 nut and our C6 bolts. First thing you want to do is go ahead and slide your bolt through the chest of the player and line up the hole of the player. Insert your nut into the back of the player. Then hold in place, turn the player around, and tighten. Alright, after you completed step 9 in inserting all your rods and attaching each player to each rod, we're now on the next step, step 10, and attaching our handles P7 to our rod using our H9 bolt. Part's pretty simple, just want to go line up the hole on the handle to the hole in the rod. Insert your H9 bolt and tighten. One quick note, these handles are really high quality. Most other companies use really cheap rubber slide-on handles. Also, these rods are semi-hollow, so they are durable enough to rough play, yet light enough to let the player have full control over the rod. If you need any rod lubricant, please contact Kick and we'll send you a free complimentary bottle. Next, place rubber end caps P8 on the other end of the rod. Congratulations! We are now officially done assembling your Kick Symphony 55-inch foosball table. You are now free to enjoy your table with your friends and family. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please visit us at www.kickfoosballtables.com or email us at support@kickfoosballtables.com.